Let's jump into the biggest piece of news. Like, this is something that we had to come back season 1 during our hiatus to talk about.
Very true.
We had to gather the meeting of the minds.
Night. Remember that night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that night.
Yeah, I'll never
Emergency
forget.
session, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, I woke out of my bed. Anthony flew in on a chopper. It was crazy. Daniel was home.
I was here waiting.
You're like, no, Jim Gordon just waiting at the bat light,
there's a
just
bat
looking
signal.
up.
I have to call Batman and Harvey Dent to the rooftop to discuss this.
Yeah. So let's say it. Spider-Man will be staying in the MCU.
Yes.
This is coming from Brent Lang from Variety. So after briefly breaking up, about 2 months almost, a little bit less.
About a month and a half. Yeah. It was late mid-August when this happened, right?
Yeah.
It was Summer Love.
Summer
Summer
Love.
Love, you know.
Summer breakup.
Having a blast. Sony Pictures and Marvel have found a way to get back in the Spider-Man business together. So on Friday, both the companies jointly announced that Marvel Studios and its president, Kevin Feige, will produce the third film in the Spider-Man Homecoming series. It will once again feature Tom Holland reprising his role as the titular hero. The rumor mill roared back to life this week with hints that the two companies were close to brokering a new agreement.
This is great. I mean, I don't think we doubted it would last, but like for a while there, it looked like
It
they
was
were
looking
just
grim.
because we kept just getting announcements of like random Spider-Man
Yeah.
stuff coming out, right? So it was like, is Sony just going to go balls to the wall right now and just keep pumping out movies? Like,
Yeah, because there was talks of, we had Venom
Venom
got their
2.
director, and then
Yeah.
and then
Madam Web. Yeah, it's crazy.
Morbius,
Yeah.
and then the story of Spider-Man being on his own in the Sony universe.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's
nice to-
comforting.
yes.
Like I literally
Very
bought Spider-Man Far From Home on
Yeah.
iTunes after. I'm like, okay, I could enjoy this movie now more so because it's like he's staying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, like, it was looking grim because it had also been too long. Like, when you start to kind of lose hope on something, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well, hold on, this is taking too long now.
Yeah.
So we're at a good point. It's funny because I remember Sony was like, yeah, Kevin Feige's too busy, so it's okay, it makes sense. Yet this guy signs up for Star Wars, which
Yeah.
we'll talk about later as well.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And now he's obviously coming back to do this.
Yeah.
What do you guys think it'll be titled? Because I mean, we've had Far From Home, we've had Homecoming. What's the third one called? Still at
Never
Home?
leave
Still
home.
Never leave home.
Leave Home.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man die from home.
Spider-Man home on the range. Spider-Man's going out west, and he's gonna buy a farm. He's going to the Midwest.
Spider-Man homeless.
Oh, that's what it was for a while, right? He didn't
Spider-Man
come home.
homeless. yeah.
Spider-Man homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wish with this, obviously, we didn't get all the nitty gritty. I wish we got more of the details surrounding, like, I know people are saying it's just for one more movie, but I mean, does that mean we just have Tom Holland for one more Spider-Man movie, even though they agreed he'll still appear in the MCU?
Right.
So does that mean he's going to, like, appear in just one more MCU movie? Like, I just wish, like, because we're so used to having contract agreements, right?
Right.
So I wish. I guess we'll know once Tom Holland's Spider-Man contract is up what they want to do. Because, like, does this... What I'm saying is I'm wondering if Disney put in, like, a
Clause.
clause of, like, so something like this can't happen
The
again.
Santa Claus.
You know what I mean? The Santa Claus. Like a something there to save them so they won't ever lose the rights to having Spider-Man in their movies.
We don't even know what this agreement looks like.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, like, do you think it'll be public? Like, eventually it'll...
I think details.
the other
will
one
start to
was-
come out.
Insiders will say some stuff.
Yeah. Because the other agreement was public because of a leak.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
So
it was leaked once everything
Yeah.
started falling out, right?
Yeah, I wish
don't
we
know.
knew.
I wish we knew. I wish we had, like, that secureness of knowing what the future of Spider-Man looks like
Yeah.
after this third one, because it was really 3 films.
Yeah, it was through.
And we didn't know what was going to happen after that.
Yeah, and obviously he's had a lot of time to shine, like in Avengers movies. Like, is he just going to appear like in a Doctor Strange movie and be like, nah, he's not in this universe anymore? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I hope it's like Disney. Like Disney's probably the king of putting loopholes in their
It should.
contract. So hopefully they have a clause there that won't let this happen again, right?
Yeah, but it shows, like, how powerful the public opinion
Yep.
goes. Like, when this happened, the public outroar was crazy
everywhere.
It was pretty
People
nuts.
were just like, no, we're gonna ban watching Spider-Man films. Sony
Stocks
garbage.
went down,
Yeah. So I think for Sony's sake, I think this partnership is detrimental or beneficial
Yeah.
for their actual longevity with this character.
I think so. Yeah, because Spider-Man was like Far From Home is their most successful Sony movie ever in theaters, right? So I think they'd be silly not to have this relationship continue in the future, right?
No, it's
You know,
true.
no money is not good. So some
Yeah.
money or good chunk of money is really good.
Yeah.
But I think it's also really, really smart because with all this controversy that's happened, basically, this next movie is going to be like it was already hotly anticipated.
Yeah.
But now more so.
More so, right?
Yeah.
It's just like everyone wants to see this go down.
Yeah.
Supposedly Kevin Feige is saying it's going to be like a Spider-Man movie that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think we're going to get as a villain? Because you got to remember, we're getting all these villain films that are Spider-Man related
Yeah.
already in the Sony movie universe.
Right.
So what do you think we're getting for this one?
Oh man, it's hard because like when you look at both his solo movies, like we've had Vulture, who's not dead. We have Scorpion, who was set up as a villain.
Yeah.
Who we had just Mysterio, who's
I don't.
supposedly
is he dead?
but I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead. You know
I'd
what
love
I mean?
to see Mysterio come back.
Yeah, so it's like I think we're really we could build to a really cool Sinister
Sinister
Six, which Sony's been wanting to do forever.
So I think the last guy
Yeah,
Goblin?
is Dr. Octopus.
yeah. I think Doctor Octopus is a perfect
Dr.
villain
Octopus, yeah.
Because
for a third film.
Venom, you can't really incorporate him because
No.
he has this and Carnage and all those guys. So the main villain or Green Goblin, which
Yeah.
is hard to bring in at such a like at the end of a series,
Right.
Because he's so detrimental to the actual like the growth of Peter Parker,
Right.
I would say Dr. Octopus. But then again, everyone knows who Spider-Man is, or that
Yeah.
news has been released. So who knows where this story's gonna
Yeah.
really go?
I think that with knowing who Spider-Man is, with his identity now, spoiler alert for Far From Home, it's pretty much revealed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
I think it's a great time to bring in, and he's not, I guess, the biggest villain, but Craven, I think at this point, makes a lot of sense.
The Hunter.
He's a hunter, and
Yeah.
he now knows what he's hunting for,
That'd be really cool.
right?
And I
Yeah.
think they want to continue with having villains that we haven't seen in previous
so
films
too,
yet,
yeah.
right? Because I think people know who Green Goblin and Doc Ock are and Sandman because of the Raimi films, and Electro and Lizard, like kind of more of the offbeat ones that we saw
Yeah.
in the Amazing series. So yeah, like Craven would be such a cool one that we haven't seen yet on screen.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like I hope Tom Holland continues in this role because I'd love to see a more adult Spider-Man down
day.
the road too,
Yeah.
right? Like because that's who the Spider-Man is that we kind of know from the comics of having
Right.
a life and being married, and like not to say that's going to happen right away, but I think having Tom Holland in this role and him growing with it is going to be really
Yeah,
cool
like,
to see a
let's
mature
keep
Spider-Man.
this as
right?
our Spider-Man for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
you know?
that'd be nice. Another
Until
10
we
years.
move on to like a Miles Morales.
Yeah, and
of
which
Spider-Man.
I think they could start introducing maybe in the next trilogy.
Yeah.
When he's a bit older, you could introduce Miles. You could have a live action version of Into the Spider-Verse. Like I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is at a state right now with multiverses and different things that it's so believable. Like you're so invested in it now that it doesn't seem out of place anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Going further into the Spider-Man news, Sony is now tapping Morbius writers for Madam Web movie, which is going to be set in that universe. So this comes from Jeff Snyder of Collider, and Sony Pictures is now asking Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless to write a Madam Web movie set in the Spider-Man universe. Collider has exclusively learned that it is unclear who will produce the Madam Web movie, but Avi Arad and Matt Tolmach are likely candidates since they served as producers on Venom and Morbius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this?
I don't know. Like, I
Why?
don't. Madam Web is not that strong of a character
She's
to
in a chair.
have her.
Yeah.
Is she in a chair? I thought she was in a web, and she
Oh,
just chills there.
Like a web
the
chair?
chair is in the web.
You know,
yeah,
it's
and then
just like
and she's always in an alleyway with glasses. and like-
It's just dumb glasses.
she has dumb glasses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, they say this is in the world of Spider-Man, but does that mean that it's in the MCU?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or is this the world of Morbius and Venom?
Right.
Is Morbius part of the Venom universe?
We don't know. And that's the thing. It's like that's what's so dangerous about this Sony deal, where it's like I love where the MCU's right now is like this is our worlds, and it's like then you have like these kind of like other Sony movies being made of
Alternate
Spider-Man characters.
universes.
We're also
or
getting like
reality-
Spider-Man's
realities.
villains. Like, how many villain movies can I see?
Yeah.
Like, I get Joker, I get Venom, but
Yeah.
like now it's like every single one of them now are gonna feel so empty without this protagonist.
But, like,
Yeah.
but Morbius is more of like an anti-hero. He's not
Yeah.
really a villain.
But he's also like conflicted a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And Madam Web is a hero. Is she not?
I mean, she's kind of got her own interest in
Yeah.
art, you know.
Yeah.
But again, like until I see a trailer for this movie, I don't believe it, because like Sony has had so many things being, I guess, thrown out there, like, oh, we're getting Sinister Six, and the show creator for Daredevil, I'm blanking on his name.
Steven Knight.
No, he took over for I'm blanking on it right now. He was going to do the Sinister Six movie, and then we're going to have a Green Goblin movie, and then we're going to have like this movie, and I feel like there's so many movies that have been like teed up that have never come to fruition. So like I see this and I'm like, sure, Drew Goddard, that's it. There's been so many movies where I've seen them like tee it up and then nothing ever happens of it. So like I feel like if this movie does happen, it's like 5, 6, 7 years down the road.
It could be a Madam Web story where the traditional Madam Web is now passed on to a younger version of Madam Web.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An older Madam Web transitioning to a younger Madam Web.
Right.
Something that's
Madam Web Jr.?
Like almost like a Green Lantern. I'm passing on this ring to you type of thing.
But I feel like they need to establish who.
Who the hell Madam Web.
know?
But like again, she's not that strong of a character to have her own movie.
Not in her own movie.
I would watch a Green Goblin movie.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Like that'd be like a very Joker-esque.
Yeah, like I could watch him like transform. He goes through that
Especially
whole...
when Defoe's performance from Spider-Man 1 where he does this whole talking to himself.
And
So
every
good.
Spider-Man villain since in the Raimi world has spoken to themselves. Like has always had that thing where they're like literally talking out loud with themselves. I'm glad we've kind of moved past that with villains.
past talking, yeah.
Or like they've had like these
Inner monologues.
monologues all the time, you know, like with Doc Ock and his inhibitor chips and like with Venom like arguing with himself and I'm glad we're kind of moved past that. Or actually the Amazing Spider-Man movies did that too. With Lizard talking to himself as well too.
I don't remember those films.
Yeah. And Electro as well.
I got a lobotomy, I think, after watching those movies.
After Amazing Spider-Man 2 at least.
Oh, God. Both of them, no.
You were jealous of Gwen Stacy in that movie. Eh?
Yeah, I was like,
Still,
man, I wish
still
I
a
could
great
go on.
death scene. Like it
It was a well done scene.
Yeah.
That death scene, though, was probably the highlight of those two films.
Yeah. But then you see Dane DeHaan like as whatever goblin he was and like ooh.
He was like leprosy goblin thing.
Yeah.
Was
So
he
weird.
Hobgoblin?
I don't think so.
I think he was just goblin.
greenish,
Yeah.
though.
So it's so weird. It was so weird how they set that up. It's like, oh, he's Peter's best friend. You guys didn't know that?
Like, well,
What?
dude, where you been?
Where you been, man? You know? And I love to see too, sorry to go off on this, when like Spider-Man's like in like Andrew Garfield's in Spider-Man costume talking to him, and he's literally not even changing his voice. So he's just talking to Dane DeHaan is like, yeah, you know, that illness you have, it's crazy, you know? I'm like, it literally sounds like Peter in a suit right now. So it's so silly. So
awful.
silly. Yeah, Spider-Man news. Lots of Spider-Man
A lot
news
of
this
Spider-Man, a lot of good stuff coming
Yeah.
out. I mean, let's be positive about this Sony universe.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's Tom Holland's here to stay, so. Do you guys see his Instagram post?
Yes, I did.
So good.
Yeah.
The
I'm not
Wolf of
leaving.
Wall Street?
I'm fucking leaving.
I'm not leaving. Woo! So good.